The last time we used the Cuisenaire rods, we were talking about the parts of speech, and we used the sentence, Andrew is looking for a share house. Today we're going to continue with the same theme, but we're going to use the rods to talk about time. And I've created a small clock with the rods, but we could easily use other coloured rods to create a bigger clock. Okay, it depends on how big our group of students is. Alternatively, you could use a number of clocks. There are plenty of rods, and a number of clocks could be made, one between two students, with just one box of Cuisenaire rods. So I've used the small red rods for the 12 and the 6 and the 9 and the 3, and I've used the smaller white ones for the hours in between. The yellow rod represents the long hand, and the green rod represents the small hand. Now, if we talk about Simon and Andrew, I could say Andrew is looking at a share house at, and I can point to the time.
Andrew and Simon are looking at the share house at 3 o'clock.
That's right. Andrew and Simon are looking at the share house at 3 o'clock. But I might suggest to Simon and Andrew that they make sure they're not too late. And so perhaps I'll say you should meet the agent at
2:45 or 2:43.
a 2:45. And I can move the rods, and the students themselves can move the rods to practice different sentences and questions with time. See how easy it is to make the clock bigger if I need to. All the while, the time still stays obvious. This is a very visual and tactile way for the students to learn. Okay? At lower levels, we could count around the clock by pointing to each hour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. At higher levels, we can just point and say nothing, okay? And the students will know. It's a very quiet way of teaching, and the students then are able to touch the clock and move the hands themselves.